Now let's see about units of enzyme activity. Okay, how we can calculate this enzyme activity, and we cannot express or we cannot calculate this enzyme activity in terms of concentration like mg or mu g. Okay, this should be expressed as activity. Okay, various methods are introduced for estimation of enzyme activity. Particularly, estimation of plasma enzymes is very important due to their biological importance. That means plasma enzymes are biologically very important. So for that uh, unit for that calculation only different methods are introduced, and the activity can be expressed in many ways like King and Strong units or Reitman units, Frankel units, spectrophotometric units. These are the few different kinds of units used for the uh, calculation of the enzyme activity, and we can express that in and mostly acceptable or most widely used units are kettle and SI units. Okay, what is kettle? This kettle was introduced by Enzyme Commission of International Union of Biochemistry, along with Enzyme Commission, which is present with International Union of Biochemistry. They suggested this usage of kettle, and they gave an abbreviation called CAT. Okay, 1 CAT denotes the conversion of 1 mole substrate per second. And the enzyme activity may also be expressed as milli kettle and micro kettle. Coming to international units or standard units or SI units, we can call anything, and one international unit is defined as the amount of enzyme activity that catalyzes the conversion of 1 micromole of substrate per mole per minute. Okay, and both SI unit and kettle are interconvertible. One international unit is equal to 60 mu kettle, and 1 kettle is equal to 1.67 international units. So by using these units, we can uh, observe or estimate the enzyme activity. Now let's see enzyme assay. How we can what is enzyme assay and how we can use this enzyme assay. Okay, fundamentals of enzyme assay. Actually, why we should go for enzyme assay is to determine how much a given enzyme of known characteristic or known concentration is present in tissue homogeneous fluid or particularly purified preparations. That means to know the uh, characteristic or the concentration of that particular enzyme in the tissue homogeneous fluid, we can estimate that particular enzyme using this assay. And it is most important that the specimens are treated carefully prior to the assay. If the results treated carefully prior to assay, the results are not to be accurate. That means before undergoing any enzyme assay process, we should treat the specimens very carefully. If we go for before going for an enzyme assay, pre-treatment for the samples is very important, or else the results will not be accurate. And the maintenance of cellular organization is to be maintained carefully, and uh, before the enzyme assay, we should take utmost care so that the characteristic of that particular cell or the characteristic life of that particular cell is not disturbed. Okay, by with any natural processes. Okay, and breakdown or death of that particular cell or the organism should be uh, maintain. That means we should take care so that the breakdown of the cell or the death of the cell doesn't occur. And the autolysis of tissue is minimized to keep it whole. That means we should take care so that there will be no breakdown or the autolysis of that particular tissue. For that we can preserve those samples at 4 degrees centigrade. Okay, that means that particular tissues or the other components, they should be stored at 4 degrees centigrade to avoid the breakdown or autolysis of the tissue. And many enzymes are easily denatured at high or even moderate temperature. So that means these enzymes are easily active at moderate temperatures also. That's why we should take utmost care. Okay, that's why we should keep them at cold temperatures or cold conditions. And we should take all the chemicals or the tissue components or anything what we are using for this enzyme assay should be stored at cold temperatures or at very low temperature. Okay, and enzymes are assayed by following the disappearance of the substrate or appearance of the reaction products. That means if an enzyme react with substrate, the substrate will be completely converted into product and there will be absence of substrate at the end of the product formation. So this enzyme assay can be uh, estimated using this substrate absence method or appearance of the reaction products. That means either we can observe the absence of the substrate or presence of the product. Anything will give the enzyme assay result. Okay, and in addition to the test mixture, we can also use control. This control sample will help us to uh, compare that particular test mixture for accuracy purpose. Okay, we can use this control for a as a uh, standard, and this control is used as standard to compare with the test mixture. Okay, and all the factors which affect the enzyme catalysis reaction like temperature, pH should be maintained properly throughout the experiment, and a progressive curve is constructed. Okay, that means we take the uh, uh, a curve or we draw a graph or we plot the amount of substrate and the concentration of the substrate in this plot, and a linear graph will be plotted and fall down also observed, but enzyme activity is obtained from linear position of the curve only. And here you can take the example of assay of amylase. Amylase is an hydrolytic enzyme which is present in our mouth and it break down carbohydrate components. Okay, or carbohydrates like polysaccharides can be easily hydrolyzed by the enzyme amylase, and this amylase acts on starch to yield maltose at pH 6.8, and the enzyme amylase plays a role in the digestion of carbohydrates in mouth. And this can be and by using this amylase enzyme on starch, we can yield maltose as an end product, and this can be measured calorimetrically at 520 nanometers. Okay, that means we can separate amylase enzyme from the mouth and we can treat this amylase enzyme with the starch solution. Then we can get the products, we can develop different concentrations of amylase and this particular starch solution like 0 0.2, 0 0.4, 0 0.6, 0 0.8. Like this we can prepare different concentration solutions, and also we can use one control blank, and we, after the completion of the reaction, what we'll take ODs, that is optical density. We'll take OD values in calorimeter at 520 nanometers, and we'll plot these OD values on a graph and we'll develop a graph for this particular assay of amylase. Here see, starch is along with water reacts and it forms maltoses, and by this we can develop different kinds of enzyme assays. Okay, we just explained amylase as one example.